E YouTube, ShadowHead aqui com mais um vídeo, galera. No vídeo de hoje eu vou estar trazendo aqui pra vocês, vendo como é que tá. Faz tempo que eu não faço como é que tá, hein? De uma DLC, entre aspas, recém-lançada. Eu tô 3 meses atrasado aqui, mas praticamente ninguém do Brasil trouxe a respeito disso, desse vídeo. Do Greedfall, que inclusive eu fiz análise, fiz história análise contando toda a história, apresentando todo o universo desse jogo, que eu acho muito bom, tá? Que o povo não falou muito, né? Não jogaram muito assim. Deixa o seu like, compartilha com as minhas redes sociais, segue no Twitter e principalmente aqui no canal pra não estar perdendo um vídeo que eu vi toda semana. E galera, bora lá. Bom, eu tô aqui, tô quase no final do game, eu já zerei. Eu tive que voltar alguns saves pra poder ativar essa missão. E é o seguinte, vocês chegam na sua base principal, que é essa aqui, a minha é essa aqui, né? Pode ser até aquelas bases, aquelas casas que tem nas cidades, e vai ter uma carta, né? E vocês pegam essa carta, a gente lê o que tem nessa carta, vamos ver. Aos cuidados de Desarder da congregação, Vossa Excelência, um mensageiro nos informou de uma chegada de uma delegação da Sua Alteza e Príncipe de Vespe, liderado pela filha dele. Se possível, gostaria que retornasse a Nova Serene o mais rápido possível. Não sei como reagir à chegada tão perturbadora dessa família a Tirfredi, na esperança de que esta carta encontre Vossa Excelência na mais perfeita saúde. Aguardo com carinho nosso encontro. Lady Maurice Morange.
Lady Morange tells me that a delegation from the vespe family just landed on the island.
From the look on your face, I take it their arrival is not good news. Are they that bad?
If I had to name one family in the merchant congregation who has mastered the art of manipulation and treachery, it would be the Vespes. We must ask ourselves why they are here. We should find Lady Morange as soon as possible to provide assistance.
O nome dessa DLC é The Vespe Conspiracy. Cadê? Descubra mais sobre o desembarque do The Vespe. Vou deixar essa como principal. Não tem como deixar uma? A gente vai ter que fazer uma fast travel. Faz um tempinho que eu não jogo, então não vou lembrar de algumas coisas. A gente vem pra residência do Sarde. 16 horinhas pra gente viajar. Vou jogar com o Petrus e com a... Qual que é o nome da menininha ali, velho? Oh meu Deus, qual que é o nome dela? Um é o Petrus, a outra é a Fiona, não, cara. Qual que é o nome dessa menina? Mas eu escolhi me relacionar com ela nessa gameplay. Lembrando, galera, que Greedfall tem muita conversa. É um jogo que tem muita conversa. Se você não curte muito esse tipo de gameplay, recomendo vocês nem assistirem, que pode ser um pouco chato pra você. Eu fiz todas as missões do jogo, velho. Fiz todas, fiz o final e fiz análise, como eu sempre costumo fazer. Vamos falar com a Lady Morange. Acho que eu falei dela na análise.
Ah, Sir de Sardet. Did you get my message?
Indeed. The arrival of the vespe family in Tirfredi is surprising and no doubt worrying. But without knowing their intentions...
Nothing good can come from that family, for the interests of the Dorsey family and Serene. But I truly cannot tell you anything about the reason for their presence. The message I received was brief. Aurelia de Vespe announced her arrival on the island and asked to see your cousin as soon as possible. She and her entourage seem to have settled in a region that I do not know. Adag ol Credo, north of Vikshadir. I think it would be good for you to locate her and try to find out more.
I know this place, but I thought that only the Donaigada from the Baragnodash clan knew how to access it. It's a sacred place. That's where Animide shed his blood.
You should also take advantage and visit these unknown lands. Who knows what they have in store for us?
You're right. It's better for us to go and see what it's all about. What can you tell me about the vespe family? I've never met them, and everything I know is hearsay.
And, strange and worrying as it is, the rumors are justified for the most part. Nevertheless, I'm not an expert, and I've been away from the continent for a long time. I'm sure Sieur de Caution will be able to tell you more, but know that they have envied the Dorsey family's power in the congregation for generations. They have tried to impose themselves many times at its head, holding up the antiquity of their city Perenne as a pretext. They bribe messengers, use blackmail and trickery, even murder, according to some people. And don't back down for anything. Be very careful with them, Your Excellency, and don't believe a single one of their lies. They're real vipers. Do you have any other questions?
A história da congregação, galera, eu falei na análise, tá?
What do you know about Aurelia de Vespe? Is she an important member of the family?
As far as I know, she's the prince's favorite daughter, and the only one left. I seem to remember that she was married to a promising young nobleman for a few years. I heard he died in suspicious circumstances, but I couldn't tell you what happened or if it's even true. But if you want to find out more about her before you go to meet her, you should go to speak to Sieur de Caution. Do you have any other questions?
Eu acho que essa filha desse cara é que tá na capa da DLC.
Do you know the city of Perenne?
Legend would have it that it's the oldest city in the congregation, and its ruins bear witness to a glorious past. It's a beautiful city with a river running through it, and whose art and architecture have long been a source of inspiration for the old world. Nevertheless, it doesn't have direct access to the sea, which stopped it from thriving and becoming as powerful as Serene. That's what finally pushed it into the background amidst the larger cities. Do you have any other questions?
Goodbye, Lady Morange.
Goodbye, Your Excellency. Be careful. Don't underestimate the trickery of the de Vespes.
É, pelo jeito essa família é troll. Deixa eu ter que fazer viagem rápida agora. É viagem rápida? Não, deixa eu ter que ir por aqui só. Fale com a Aurelia de Vespe. Uma coisa, galera, vocês podem estar notando que eu não tenho... Se alguém for vir caçar minha ID pra falar que se eu joguei ou não joguei o Greedfall, eu joguei na outra conta, tá? Eu tenho duas contas, eu tenho a conta do ShadowHead principal e tem mais uma conta, que eu não vou falar o nome, que não tô muito afim, é minha conta particular, cara, onde eu jogo, meu tio joga, sei lá, meus primos jogam, então eu não vejo necessidade. E eu joguei o Greedfall mais nessa conta, onde eu empresto também, né, pra jogar no PS4 de algum amigo meu ou algo do tipo. Deixa eu bater nesses bichos só pra lembrar como é que era. Eu tô bem forte, cara. Então, por isso que eu tô jogando nessa conta, tá? Mas óbvio que eu já zerei. Cara, pra mim é o mínimo em uma história análise você pelo menos zerar o jogo pra fazer, né? Ah não, podia ter usado aqui o negócio. Nível 32 é um nível bom. Acho que eu vou trocar aqui meus companheiros. Vou jogar só com as mulheres. Não, vou deixar um homem ou uma mulher pra deixar equilibrado. Será que vai ter como se relacionar com essa princesa? Meu interesse amoroso nessa gameplay foi a Senhora, que é essa aqui que tá me acompanhando. Vou mostrar a exploração enquanto eu vou comentando algumas coisas. Cadê? Não tem nada. Acho que aqui não, aqui ó. É um ótimo jogo, galera. Eu recomendo vocês assistirem como é que tá, para tirar assim as suas conclusões. Deve liberar uma região nova, sei lá, né, pra jogar. Essa DLC é um pouquinho pesada, ela pesou uns 1 GB e 200 MB. Um pouquinho pesada, mas é isso aí. É tipo uma atualização, né? Tem upgrade para PlayStation 5, não é gratuito, se não me engano. Ele ficou de graça na Plus, acho que foi esse ano, não sei o mês. O mês aí já tá forçando amizade, por saber. Fale com a Aurelia de Vespe. Deixa eu ver qual região que eu vou pegar aqui. Aqui mesmo. O jogo em si tem muita conversa, porque o protagonista, né, o Dessardé, eu falei até na análise. Ele que faz esses, como é que eu posso dizer? Pera aí. Inimigo novo esse aqui. Como eu tava falando, ele que cuida dessas questões burocráticas aqui. Isso é tão forte, velho. Monedas e antídoto. Tem mais aqui. O certo é sempre você trocar as armas, tá? Tô fazendo tudo errado aqui. Você troca essa arma aqui, essa arma que dá mais dano na armadura. Tá vendo ali, ó? É quando ele estiver livre. Nossa, tem bastante, hein? Você troca pra que dá dano de corpo, né? Não é de corpo, né? Mas vocês entenderam. O jogo de todo jeito dá essa opção de você usar duas armas, né? Então use uma que dá dano de armadura e outra que dá dano físico. Esse seria o nome certo para esse dano. Ó! Ah, moleque doido.
Indeed. Delighted to meet you, Your Grace.
The accounts I've been given of you and your companions don't do you justice. Truly, it is a pleasure. We're going to become wonderful friends, you and I'm sure of it. Say, aren't we going to be cousins soon?
Pardon me, Your Grace, but I'm not sure I follow. And if I may ask, what is it precisely that brings you to this remote island?
Haven't you heard? Well, it seems the messengers on this island are not particularly reliable. No matter. Your uncle and my father have decided that your cousin, Prince Constantine, and I are to be married. So, here I am.
My, this is incredible news.
I know you must be surprised. However, this alliance will be a wonderful way to put an end to the enmity between us, don't you think?
Indeed. But I should warn you that the current situation is complicated. My cousin seems to have got it into his head that he'll conquer the island and...
Oh? What audacity! But I'm sure our allies won't look very favorably on this situation. Still, I have to admit that such ambition only piques my interest in my new fiancé. I don't think it jeopardizes our arrangements. Not for the moment, at least. Then, you and I will be cousins, of course. Furthermore, I was hoping I might be able to count on your assistance.
Of course, Your Grace. What can I do for you?
You see, I didn't want to impose myself on New Serene until all the necessary arrangements had been made for my arrival. I had the Naughts drop us off in a quiet place outside the city. Too far outside the city, clearly. There were these savages and bandits skulking around the woods and threatening us. They even robbed me. Worst of all, they took the chest in which I was keeping the marriage contract.
Savages? The only savages I know are the ones who invaded our home.
Oh, please forgive me, I meant no disrespect. Natives then, is it? In any case, it's absolutely mortifying to have to ask you this, but you know the island and its inhabitants better than I do. Could you perhaps retrieve the chest for me? I would be eternally grateful. cousin.
Deixa eu perguntar ela sobre o roubo.
Can
Vou
you tell
perguntar
me
aos três,
more
né?
about the theft?
Of course. We were unloading our things from those horrid little boats that the Nauts get about in when it was taken. I was busy setting up camp at the time, so I didn't see who it was. My men didn't see much either, because it was dark. But certain natives from the region stopped by in the morning. They were aggressive and insisted that we leave. I'm sure they were behind the robbery, unless it was just bandits. There were a couple that my men chased away, but that's all I know.
Thank you. We'll get about finding it.
Is there anything else?
Eu queria saber sobre o casamento dela com
I'm
Constantine.
surprised to hear about your engagement to my cousin, despite the excellent reason you put forth.
Surely you didn't think your cousin would stay single forever? Know that although the decision was not my own, I'm very pleased about it. I got the impression your uncle thought a wedding might calm your cousin a little. And now that he's in the role of governor, he needs a wife of his standing. My father saw an opportunity to get me away from Perren, where I was in great danger, and found me a worthy husband in the process. But again, it's clear that their main intention was to put an end to years of conflict. Is there anything else?
E sobre
Since
ela
we're
mesma.
going to be cousins, I'll have to get to know you better.
Well, aren't you just lovely? I'm afraid there isn't much to tell. I was raised like any good princess, educated in both arts and arms. But, as I had several older brothers, I was never really given a political role. I'm still my father's favorite, though. You may know that I've already been married once, but my husband was murdered in cold blood as part of a plot at court.
I'm very sorry for your loss. Please accept my deepest condolences.
You're too kind. After he died, my father decided it was best to send me away from Perren. He knew your cousin was unmarried and was tired of the futile disputes between our families. So he contacted Prince d'Orsay, and the rest is history. Is there anything else?
I must be going, Your Grace.
But of course. Goodbye, dear cousin.
É bonitinha ela, não sei se dá pra ficar com ela, mas provavelmente não, né? Já que ela vai casar com o primo.
Wedding business seems suspect.
Óbvio que eu não vou furar o olho dele.
The Prince d'Orsay wants Constantine to marry, but
Isso aqui é secundárias, eu vou pegar, tá?
Aurelia de Vespe as his daughter-in-law is astonishing, to say the least.
I can't believe it either. There is too much rancor between our families.
Could the contract she spoke of be forged? Is it even possible? I'm not familiar with the practice.
A document can be forged, especially by them. This much is clear. If we find it, it'll need close scrutiny.
Como é que eu vou chegar ali? O protagonista, né, o Dessardelli, é o emissário, então ele cuida praticamente de todas as questões burocráticas dos reinos, né? Do reino do primo dele, que é a congregação mercante. Ele faz contratos com os nativos, que são nativos? Os nativos, né? A senhora é uma nativa, inclusive. Por isso que tem toda essa rixa, né? Você vê a mina quase pulou no pescoço da outra lá. Porque ela falou porcaria, né? Porque eles são os errados, cara. Não tem jeito. Os nativos estavam na deles e os caras começaram a invadir e tomar área. É igual no nosso mundo real com os índios, né?
The chest was here when it was stolen. Ah, there are footprints which lead away from the camp.
Que eu vou, acho que dá pra descer mais? Não. Subir mesmo. Galera, eu paguei R$26 nessa DLC. Aqui mesmo. Nessa promoção de final de ano da PSN. Eu não sei no Xbox como é que tá a situação. Provavelmente também tá tendo uma promoção.
Quite deep. as if the person who made them were carrying a heavy load. We're on the right path.
Então eu peguei a versão standard do jogo na Plus. Tem um packzinho que você pode comprar, que você vem com umas vantagens, mas tanto faz. Nem eu gosto muito de pegar essas coisas. Mas tem, quem tiver interesse. São os nativos? É, são os nativos. Paguei uns R$26. Foi nessa parte, foi nesse preço mais ou menos. E se eu vou refazer minha história análise, eu não vou refazer, tá? Pra incluir a DLC, não. Vou deixar como é que ela tá e... sei lá, pra complementar, vocês assistem esse vídeo, tá bom. Porque na história análise, quando eu falo de alguma DLC, eu não falo é a história inteira, não. Eu só apresento a história, né? Não falo final, spoiler, né? Não sei o que vai acontecer, inclusive. Então, não vejo necessidade de refazer o texto. Lembrando que a história análise do Greedfall foi uma das mais difíceis, porque como é um jogo meio obscuro, que o povo não jogou, não fez tanto sucesso, né, entre os youtubers, né. Informações de pesquisa, cara, tava bem difícil de achar, mano. A maioria das informações eu peguei com o jogo. Não tem jeito, né, cara? Quando eu faço uma análise, eu vou anotando durante a gameplay alguns detalhes do jogo e vou fazendo o texto. Tem uma arma aqui melhor. Deixa eu trocar aqui. Aí eu vou trocando vou complementando com a... Mas não dá pra usar, tem que ter 5 de agilidade. Eu vou complementando nas pesquisas. Aí estamos chegando aqui já.
We don't see many around here. But I'm convinced they don't eat their prey where they catch it. They would normally take it back to their lair.
Maybe they were about to do just that when we got here. Let's look around. We'll soon find out. And let's not forget Aurelia's chest. The poor souls didn't enjoy their loot very long. It looks as though they were attacked as soon as they settled down here. The de Vespe coat of arms. This must be the chest Aurelia asked us to find.
Can you open it? I'd be curious to see if the contract she spoke of is genuine.
I can't see a lock, and we'd be hard-pressed to explain why we broke it. We'd better bring it back untouched.
Mais algumas coisas para ver aqui.
This campfire is strange. The ashes and embers are laid out as they should be, but the ground beneath them is untouched. This campfire has not been used. It seems as though it was just laid out as a prop. I'm troubled by this fake campfire. It casts a strange light upon this whole affair. We'd best go back to the camp and return the chest.
Wait. There are armed men on the path. We should try to find a lookout point to learn more before we move on.
It seems they're Aurelia de Vespe's swordsmen. I'm afraid it is now beyond doubt. These men were sent to ambush us. Aurelia sent us to recover that chest solely in order to get rid of us.
What a nasty schemer. What do you think? Would you like to go up against those hired assassins, or should we just find a way round them? That viper. How shameless. She must have hoped those beasts would be the end of us. These men were just an added precaution. I expected foul play on her part, but I never thought she'd try to kill us so soon. What do you intend to do, my child? The situation is delicate. We can't just attack them outright.
She'll have to answer for this. But, given the power of her family, we must remain polite.
You? I didn't think I'd see you again. So soon.
Is that because you'd hoped we'd be clawed to death by those beasts, or because you thought your assassins would get the better of us?
Come now, who do you take me for? I was just putting your courage to the test, that's all. A princess's whim. I kindly suggest you forget all about this little incident. You see, my dear, we de Vespes have a habit of knowing as much about our enemies as our friends. I'm afraid my father's men have obtained some rather sensitive information, which, well, if the other governors were to find out, it could very well jeopardize your position, along with that of the d'Orsay. If word were to get out about your origin, for example...
Are you trying to blackmail me?
Oh, what a horrid word! Come now, I would never do such a thing. Let's just say that I'm ensuring your loyalty. In fact, some of my men are already at the courts of Hikmet and San Mateus, and ready to act if you try anything. But I'm sure it won't come to that. We'll soon be part of the same family, after all.
Perguntar sobre o motivo dessa chantagem.
You have your contract. Why threaten me?
My sweet summer child. You seem to have learnt to navigate the seas of politics in a duck pond. My waters, however, were shark-infested. Knowing the weaknesses of others, as well as how and when to exploit them to ensure unwavering loyalty, is key to survival as a de Vespe. I believe I mentioned that my late husband was murdered at court. Well, his killers worked for my brother. My own brother didn't think twice before having the man I loved killed to secure his position. He broke my heart. I understand, of course. I'd probably do the same. And what of it? Do you think I would feel more remorse were it, say, a cousin-in-law? Is there anything else?
What are your intentions? Surely you're not going to all this trouble just to marry my cousin.
And why not? Your cousin's quite the catch, you know. But you're quite right. I want more than just a new husband. I want a place where I can showcase my talents, a place to shine. Who knows? As the governor's wife, I could even become the new legate and try my hand at diplomacy. Unless I decide to keep you, of course. That is, if you promise to serve me well and aid me in expanding our influence on this island and beyond. The de Vespes have long worked in the shadows of the congregation. No more. I hope that answers your question. Is there anything else?
Here is your chest. This is the one you sent me to fetch.
Yes, that's the one. Thank you for your help. You have shown yourself to be as reliable as they say. Long may it continue to be the case. Well, now that I've recovered my precious documents, you will be able to deliver the wedding contract to your cousin in New Serene. I await the preparations for my arrival and accommodation. Then there'll be plenty of time to prepare the ceremony with my husband-to-be.
The arrival of a noble lady such as yourself will require several arrangements. New Serene is a very new city.
Yes, I'm sure. Don't dither for too long now. I'm counting on you to be as quick as possible. And to convince your cousin and his men to be reasonable. You know what's at stake. Is there anything else?
Nope. Eu acabei de ganhar troféu aqui chamado Uma Noiva Perigosa. Por que eu não fiz série ShadowHead? Quer dizer, série não, né? Por que eu não joguei na outra conta? Porque na outra conta eu costumo fazer séries, né, galera? Então eu não vi necessidade de fazer série. Acho que a história já tava muito de bom tamanho, sabe?
We now have the contract, but even if it does turn out to be forged, we have no choice but to bend to her will.
Come, my child. Have I not taught you anything? I appreciate that our adversary is devious. This situation may be harrowing, but there's always a way out of blackmail. Let's recover the documents held by those henchmen in Hikmet and San Mateus. We'll then have all we need to act against her.
You're right. It's the only way to put an end to this alliance and supplant the Viper.
Vai ter que usar uma fast travel aqui. Deixa eu ver a mais próxima que a gente tem. Acho que a mais próxima que a gente tem é aqui, né? Bem longe. Não, peraí. Eu vou cortar, galera. Muito longe. Aí chegamos aqui em São Mateus. Bora lá. Aqui uma das cidades do game. Tem uma carta aqui. Carta de uma pessoa solidária. Sei que seus inimigos estão na cidade e onde encontrá-los. Fale comigo nos portões da cidade para saber mais. Um guarda. Troquei minha equipe. Tô com a Eifra e o Vasco da Gama. Tô zoando, é só o Vasco. Mas é uma referência sim ao Vasco da Gama.
Hello. Are you the guard who left me a message at the embassy?
Greetings, Your Excellency. Yes, it was me. I thought you should be warned when I saw those vermin bearing the vespe livery.
This is indeed interesting information. Do you know if they're staying in town?
The delegation leader is always at the tavern. He drinks heavily. His men wander around town looking for trouble.
Thank you. I imagine you're expecting a reward.
No, Your Excellency, keep your money. I'll consider myself highly rewarded if you manage to put a stop to their horrible manipulative plans. My old battalion was almost completely lost to those vipers. They led us into a trap and left us to rot, so I don't know what you wish to do to them. But I wish you the best success.
Agora fala com o embaixador da vespe na taverna de São Mateus. Vamos lá então, né? Deixa eu mostrar a minha Eifra. Essa é a minha Eifra e esse é meu Vasco. Inicialmente ele não tinha esse chapéu, salvo engano. Ou eu tinha, nem lembro. Faz tanto tempo que eu não jogo esse game que eu nem lembro das coisas que eu fiz. Taberna Moeda. Falar com Lord Tully, embaixador das Vespas.
I wonder if we might have a word.
Desade, the Dorsey family's henchman. I knew it. I knew I would meet my end by accepting this mission.
Since you know who I am, you must know why I'm here.
Yes, the document chest. But don't think you can scare me into giving it to you. I've been scared to death since I got to this town. Since I got to this island. But I will not betray them.
Carisma, vai.
Calm. We never wished you harm. We only want to recover some files. They do concern us, after all. Tell us where they are. A huge weight will be lifted off your shoulders.
That's true. Does it even matter? I don't have the chest anymore. I gave it to a group of inquisitors who don't like you very much. Those fools are so furious that they'd rather die than give you the chest. And Saint Mateus is with them. So, they're hiding out in one of the warehouses around the port. If you really want to confront them, it's your own choice. But you should say a prayer first.
Encontre os inquisidores no armazém em São Mateus. Deixa eu ver onde é que é. Aqui ainda. Dá pra vir por aqui? Dá, bora por aqui mesmo. É aqui mesmo. Cara, o personagem já tá tão upado, velho. Nem sei o que ele tem de vantagem. Ele já faz os negócios tudo.
So you found us. But don't rejoice too soon. You will not leave this warehouse alive.
Come. I'm sure we can work this out. I only want the vespe chest.
Don't count on it. Because of you, our city has been taken over by brazen, lawless bandits.
You will pay for it!
Bit of poison on my blade. And let's go!
Watch out! Grenade!
Timer. Eu ia atirar, né? Mas tá bom. A trilha sonora desse DLC também é boa, ela é diferente, cara. Eu nunca escutei essa DLC. Nunca escutei essa trilha no game. Vou pegar aqui uns equipamentos. Deixa eu ver só aqui, mano. Quais que são meus upgrades que eu fiz? Minha árvore de habilidades e... Como são 3 árvores de habilidade. Pra upar. Força. Tá bom. Quem quiser ler, pausa o vídeo aí. Muita coisa pra ler. Preguiça. Bora fazer o fast travel agora. Aí chegamos aqui na região do Rickmatch. Bora ver onde é que tem que ir. Falar com Burhan, que inclusive foi na análise.
Your Excellency, Her Highness... Her Highness, Aurelia de Vespe of the Merchant Congregation has sent me to convey her regards. She would like to assure you of her deepest respect and her unwavering support as an ally with any troubles you may encounter. She also wishes to forewarn you that the person who until now presented himself as the congregation's legate may soon lose his position. Indeed, he is believed to have lied about his lineage, and doubt has now been cast upon his titles of nobility. It is also rumored that he is engaged in questionable dealings involving the guilds and the natives. We sincerely hope that, until this situation has been clarified, you will treat him with the utmost suspicion. Naturally, if these allegations prove to be true, a new legate will be appointed by Her Highness immediately.
Madam, I thank you for your kind words, but I do not know you. You come on behalf of someone I do not know either, and who, to my knowledge, has no political authority. Yet you present yourself before my court making accusations against someone who has always shown himself to be respectable, and who has come to our aid numerous times. I must ask you to leave, madam. You are not welcome here. I've rarely been faced with such a deceitful, insolent person. I'm sorry you had to hear such horrendous things. What's happening in the congregation that this joke of an ambassador is challenging your position like this?
As you may be aware, Your Excellency, there's long-standing rivalry between the de Vespe and the d'Orsay families. Aurelia de Vespe just arrived in Tearfredi and clearly intends to impose her will here by any means.
I suggest you settle this affair swiftly. Had it been anyone other than myself, they may well have believed such lies.
That's what I intend to do, Your Excellency. But to do so, I need to know where to find this ambassador.
I think I heard that she and her entourage took up residence in a farm just out of town. You should find her, so she can explain herself.
Perguntar sobre... esse aqui a gente já perguntou.
Look forward to seeing you again.
Farewell, my lord.
Na verdade, essas informações que eu perguntaria pra ele, tá tudo na História análise.
If the governor didn't respect you like he does, who knows what kind of damage their lies could have caused? I didn't ask you at the time. But what do you think of the information we found in San Mateus?
It's a web of lies, but unfortunately well crafted enough to cause me harm and put me in an untenable position.
Being of noble class isn't always easy. It's schemes and traps at every turn. The life of a commoner, so much easier. What kind of information do you expect to find here?
I don't know. We cannot take the risk of letting it spread. Even lies can be dangerous. We must tread carefully. The Devesps are experts in the art of manipulation. We must ensure that these documents never get out. Here come the Devesp ambassador and her henchmen.
We should hide and listen to what they say. We may gain some interesting
Tem muito essa questão de você usar essas pistolas de pirata. Galera, eu não fiz a história análise não. Eu não fiz série desse jogo porque, cara, RPG é muito difícil, cara. Tem muita missão pra fazer. Veja a lei de Lavoisin. Para nossa segurança e para impedir que alguém coloque as mãos nesses documentos se a fazenda for atacada, esconde os papéis no toco da árvore perto da fazenda, no pé do penhasco. Olha os bolinhos. Será que dá pra matar esse? Matar ele, vai. Não dá não. Deixa eu ver aqui, é. Ali.
Damn it! It was a trap.
A bit of poison on my blade. Then let's go!
Watch out! Grenade!
Essa mira tá horrível, cara.
Let's see if you can ward off this feint.
Eita, eu vou morrer.
There are some documents, but it's not the evidence Aurelia spoke of. These documents speak of you. It appears that the Devesps sought out information on each of you, hoping to influence you or to drive a wedge between us.
Remarkable. My whole life picked apart by liars and manipulators. Promise me you'll burn all of this without thinking twice.
This is just further proof of their deceit, and the so-called evidence got away again. Let's search these men. We may find something useful.
Bilhete de vespe. Quem que tiver interesse, pausa o vídeo pra ler, tá?
The chest was given to a merchant in town who deals with the Devesps. He was ordered to hand it to the governor if something happens to the delegation.
That Aurelia is clever if nothing else. We must get that chest from the merchant before he learns of their deaths.
Galera, já tá dando tempo aí. Essa foi mais ou menos uns 30 minutos. Quase 40 minutos. Pra gente ver como é que tá. Da DLC do Greedfall The Vespe Conspiracy. Eu espero que vocês tenham gostado do vídeo de hoje. Peraí, deixa eu ver aqui.
Hello, are you Valens?
Indeed. What can I do for your lordship? Are you looking for tools for your workers? I have a large range of tools. Everything you need for mining or timber harvesting.
I have no interest in your goods. I have been sent by Her Highness, Aurelia de Vespe. She asked me to recover a chest you have in your keeping.
Of course, of course. It's stuffed between my goods in the street just behind us. I hope you tell your mistress that I obeyed her orders.
Do not worry. She will be told.
Pra quem tiver interesse de saber mais a história de Greedfall, tem a história análise, eu acho que eu deixei no card aí. Já que é pra ver? Não vou refazer o vídeo. Esse aqui vai ser o vídeo que vai servir para vocês entenderem a base da história. Deixa eu ver o que é aqui. Aqui vai 3 de lei, pausa o vídeo. Segue o anexo a essa carta do pagamento combinado. Lembre-se, é imperativo que ninguém desconfie do seu envolvimento com a morte de Laurent. Meu filho tem que reinar. Júlio Dorsey. Júlio Dorsey, quem que é ela? É mãe do primo do protagonista. Mãe do Constantine. Tô ficando por aqui, galera. Esse foi o vídeo de hoje. Não esqueça de deixar seu like, compartilhar no like, inscrever nas redes sociais, no Twitter. E principalmente aqui no canal pra estar perdendo um vídeo cada semana. E galera, mas é isso. Mas foi, fique com Deus e fui.